Is this one of those things where people are resetting their expectations, saying maybe it goes from 20,000 over the next 4 or 5 years to 40,000? Is it still $500,000, $1 million a coin on Bitcoin? I mean, and then how do you look at that versus what you think of as the potential downside risk?
Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. You subscribe for daily videos on everything going on in the crypto markets, news, opinion, perspective. Let's talk realistically what happens next for Bitcoin. What price will the ultimate bottom for Bitcoin be in this bear cycle? And realistically, how long, how much time until we see Bitcoin break above all-time highs? And then I want to update you on Cardano. If you like Cardano, you're going to want to stick around for this. Before we talk about the ultimate bottom price for Bitcoin, however, before we talk about when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs again, it's very important to me to be realistic on this channel with you. We would all like Bitcoin to hit its ultimate bottom tomorrow. We would all like Bitcoin to break above its all-time highs next week. But realistically, what's most likely to happen next? What do you think? Comment below. See, I really like how Bitcoin expert Mel D of CoinShares answers this question. She's a star in the cryptocurrency space, the chief strategy officer at CoinShares. And they ask her, what happens next with Bitcoin? Can we break out of this cryptocurrency winter soon? And I think her answer is spot on.
I know we're living through somewhat of a crypto winter in summer, and I think everyone's asking, is it going to reverse in winter? Meaning when we actually get to our own winter, do we have some kind of reversal here? What do you think?
For us at CoinShares, the view is we're going to stay where we are for a while. There are no near-term upside catalysts. We have yet to see Bitcoin in a recession. Arguably, are we in a recession? We don't know. But with what's going on in the Eurozone, around the world, and here in the United States with the Fed hiking rates and cutting back on their open market activities, certainly expect more pain ahead for tech stocks, growth, and also crypto. I think the big question is, what are traders doing? What's happening in markets? We obviously had a lot of liquidations, a lot of insolvencies that had a massive impact on the market. Think Archegos or bigger. We're talking about 10, 20, $30 billion of capital that has been basically sort of evaporated overnight, liquidity that's gone out of the system. And we haven't yet seen the full impact of that because most of the companies in this industry are not publicly listed. So we don't get that transparency we normally see.
She says Bitcoin will continue ranging in the short to mid term because there's really no major catalysts in the short to mid term, plus the recession, plus the general macro backdrop. I tend to agree with this, but I do think there's opportunity being in Bitcoin, being in crypto at this time, particularly investing your time learning and really understanding the space. The big question, however, is what's your best guess on Bitcoin's eventual bottom? Has it happened already? What is the lowest it could go? And when will Bitcoin break above its all-time highs again? That's the big question. Listen to Mel D, and then we'll discuss, and then we'll talk about Cardano.
What do you think the downside is at this point for those who are looking at, let's actually think about it like this. Before, it was just, it felt like for a lot of people, a runaway train. People wanted to get on that train before it ran away. It ran away briefly and then came back to earth. What do you see over, let's just say the next, call it 24 months? I don't know if you should even look at 5 years. Is this one of those things where people are resetting their expectations, saying maybe it goes from 20,000 over the next 4 or 5 years to 40,000? Is it still $500,000, $1 million a coin on Bitcoin? I mean, and then how do you look at that versus what you think of as the potential downside risk?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's absolutely the right framing for long-term investors, which is what we're focused on. Look, Bitcoin is and has always been a secular trade. It's a very cyclical asset. It goes through these cycles of ups and downs, highs and lows. Historically, drawdown from peak to trough has been 80 to 90% in Bitcoin. We're currently sitting at about 65% from our all-time highs in November of last year. So there is still room for some downward correction. We at CoinShares don't see Bitcoin going below that 14K threshold, and we've seen strong support around 20K. But again, we're looking at this. I think in the next 24 months, we will see new all-time highs in Bitcoin. Now, there is a long tail of other crypto assets. You made the point earlier, let's get that Solana ticker up there.
Right.
There are obviously emerging crypto assets like Ether and Solana that have differentiated and no longer have a beta of 1 to Bitcoin. And then there's a very long tail of crypto assets that I think will go to zero, that don't really have any long-term prospect, as we've seen with so many tech stocks as well.
So there we go, guys. She says 14K has a lot of strong support. She also says 20K has a lot of strong support. And she says realistically, it will definitely happen, in her opinion, in 2 years, Bitcoin breaks above all-time highs. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. There is a chance that Bitcoin has already bottomed. The bottom's in. We won't know that until time passes. And there's a chance that the bottom is lower than 14K. We won't know that until time passes. However, in my opinion, the more time that passes, the better it will be, because the genie's out of the bottle. Bitcoin as a network, crypto as an industry is only getting stronger, and people are starting to realize this. Let's talk about Cardano. First of all, my question to you is, how much Cardano is in your portfolio? Some people will say 0. Some people will say closer to over 50% to 100. Ultimately, that's up to you to decide. We'll get into the 30%. Let's start right here. Cardano sharks circle ahead of potential bullish breakout. So on-chain data shows that buying pressure from mid-size shark holders is increasing, which could trigger a bullish breakout. Now, obviously, if you're an OG in crypto, like many people on this channel, you know that Cardano's price will largely depend on Bitcoin and Ethereum's price. If Bitcoin and Ethereum are strong, I think Cardano can be strong. But if Bitcoin and Ethereum price are weak, historically speaking, that does not bode well. Anyways, the key takeaways are as follows. Cardano is currently consolidating between 43 cents support and 50 cents resistance. Meanwhile, mid-sized shark holders have added over 79 million ADA to their positions. Mid-sized shark holders have added 79 million ADA to their positions at this price range. Overcoming resistance at 50 cents could trigger a 52% breakout. To me, that says Cardano will challenge $1 once again. And this is that data that we were just talking about. As Cardano's price performance has stayed particularly underwhelming in 2022, addresses holding 10K to 100K ADA are now accumulating. They've added 79.1 million ADA to their collective bags in 30 days. Meanwhile, 100K to 10 million whale Cardano holders have ceased their dumping. Interesting thing to note. So I really like Cardano. I actually like Cardano more during this bear market than even last bear market. That being said, Cardano at this moment in time is about 5% of my cryptocurrency portfolio. I do plan to increase it when I know Bitcoin's price action is more solid to the upside and Ethereum's. But I'm a more conservative investor, right? If you take more risk, you could have the potential to get a greater reward. Now, there are certain entities that are taking this big risk and have increased their Cardano percentage to 30%. Let's talk about this. Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, and 4 more altcoins are top smart contract platform holdings for Grayscale. Crypto asset manager giant Grayscale has updated its smart contract platform holdings as the digital asset markets consolidate well below their all-time highs. In a new report, Grayscale says its fund has allocated funds towards Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, and several other Ethereum competitors. The weightings are as follows. Cardano takes the number 1 spot at 31%, Solana 25%, Polkadot 13%, Avalanche 10%, Polygon 8%, Cosmos 5%, Algorand 4%. So Cardano, number 1 spot for ETH competitors, then Solana, then Polkadot, then Avalanche, then Matic, which is an Ethereum layer 2. Grayscale notes that as a result of the rebalancing, payment-focused altcoin Stellar was removed from the fund. And also interesting to note about their DeFi holdings. Uniswap now takes their #1 spot in their rebalanced DeFi fund. Uniswap at 56%, MakerDAO at 13%, Aave 12%, Curve 7%, AMP 5%, Compound 4%. So Uniswap is their most weighted in their DeFi fund, and Cardano is their most weighted in their Ethereum competitor fund. Like I said, I'm hugely bullish on Cardano the next bull cycle. For me, there's no rush to get into altcoins over the next few months. They can still really grind down or bleed as Bitcoin and Ethereum consolidates, chop solidates. But some people, are taking bigger risk and they have the opportunity for bigger rewards. Let me know what you're doing in the comments below. Let me know how you think of Cardano's potential today and how you think of Cardano's potential in the next bull run. Let me know. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. See you tomorrow, my friends.